Okay, a little warning for you that today's In Search Of is not for the faint at heart. It is a story about a man with a job that would drive most of us batty. Our photographer Kirk Arneson and I got an up-close look in our In Search Of report. Take a look.
In a secluded field just outside Sparta, Wisconsin, sits this abandoned house with a very big problem. Luckily, winding down the long, narrow pathway is the man who's here to fix it.
Well, I'm Mike Bakke, Wisconsin bat specialist. I've been bat proofing houses since 1979.
Meet our very own Batman.
Just about anything that needs bats taken care of, it's something that we do.
And when he says anything,
We're right in the heart of big bat colonies here.
he means anything.
You'll see when we get inside.
On this day, Mike is tackling one of the biggest jobs he's ever seen.
Each job comes with a phone call and the homeowner's description of what it is. This homeowner told us there's a lot of bats here. He thinks there's 1,000.
1,000 bats. This should be interesting.
This is the door that leads to the attic. You can see on the stairway going up here, there's inches of guano. The walls are all stained because the bats have been living inside the walls.
Bakke and his team of conservationists are passionate about the safe handling of bats.
Bats get bad press. Blind as a bat, it's really not true. All bats can see. Bats get tangled in your hair. Not in my case.
After Mike figures out just how bad this problem is, he'll work to patch up all the areas in the house where the bats are getting in. However, he will leave a few openings where a piece of equipment called an excluder will be installed.
The excluder is a one-way door. That'll allow the bats to get out naturally at night. The door will open and close behind each bat individually. When you want to return, when you're done feeding in the morning, they just won't be able to get in. They look for every little opening in the house.
Somewhere hidden in the walls of this house is a huge cluster of bats. But so far, we've only found a few.
That's a male big brown bat, one of the 8 types of bats we have here in Wisconsin. A home will get a single bat in it. They've never had one before. Usually that's male bats getting chased out of the house that they're in, just looking for a new roost. Oh, here's a nice cluster of bats.
I wasn't so easy with the bats when I first got up there and was face to face.
Uncle Mike.
But when you work with Mike, you learn on a day-to-day basis about everything around you. Everything you learn, you kind of come over your fear, and then you start dealing with them, and it's just like any other creature. I mean, they're actually very cute.
We were just about to leave the site, not convinced of 1,000 bats, when we decided to look in one final spot.
Oh, right there. Look at that pocket of them.
The whole thing is just filled.
Look at the little pup hanging on that one right there, nursing off the mother.
There's just tons of them up there. Is that so cool?
Because there's pups in there right now and we're conservation minded, we don't want the mothers to abandon those young ones, so we're going to have to put off on this project probably for 3 or 4 weeks before we do it. Say I'll do anything to save a bat or to fix a house so it doesn't have bats. That's what we do.
Near Sparta with photographer Kirk Arneson, Jennifer Livingston, News Channel 8.
Now that you're totally creeped out, I just want to remind you, as Mike Bakke reminded me, bats are so important to our environment because they each eat, an individual bat will eat 2,500 bugs a night. And they're the bugs, the icky bugs, like mosquitoes that you do not want around. Areas that have seen a lot of bats in their areas have really low numbers of mosquitoes. And sometimes when they eradicate an area of bats, they'll end up having not only lots and lots of insect problems, but then their crops have problems because there's so many insects eating them. So they're important and needed in our environment. Now, in case you're wondering about that house and who on earth would live in that house, the person who hired Mike inherited that property and it had not been lived in for several years. The person plans to tear everything down to the floor, to the foundation, and rebuild what he now believes will be a bat-free home. And we want to pass along that if you have a bat problem and would like to contact Mike, or if you have any questions that you'd like answered, you can contact him. His number is 781-8411, or you can also check out, he has a website, and it's bat batcon.org. The con, if you're wondering, it stands for conservation.
Sure.
So batcon.org is where you can find him.